I want to talk about the most valuable revenue source when it comes to growing your business, not just to $100,000 in a year, but beyond $100,000 in a year, how to sustain it long term, and how to actually really enjoy what you do for years to come. I know what some of y'all think. If you've been following me, you probably like, well, I just need to be able to make sure that I can get leads, get calls booked, and make offers. 1,000% if you're thinking that, right? But that's from a strategical standpoint. Now, when you're operating your business, we have things that we need to do from a strategical standpoint, and then we have things that we need to do from a value standpoint as well. Because if you're a coach like me and you somebody that you coach clients at a high level, you don't just teach them workouts. You don't just tell them to follow a meal plan. Like, you're really helping them with their decision making. You're really helping them with their habits. Like, you're helping them create boundaries. Like, you're helping them at a very high level. Like, it's not like no surface level stuff when you're coaching your clients. So that means that you have integrity. Like, there's integrity that your coaching container has, and then there's integrity that you have to showcase inside of your marketing and your sales. So the importance of attracting aligned clients and working with aligned clients is, like, I would say, outside of the strategical stuff, is the most important thing when it comes to running a coaching business long term. Because there's going to be a lot of people that come and go. It ain't going to be a lot of people that do like coaching long term. If you're watching this live or you're watching the replay, definitely take some notes, and I want you to stick around to the end, because I'm going to literally give you like all the tips. There's going to be some tips in between each tip, some sub tips, but I'm going to give you 3 keys to making sure that you are attracting aligned clients in your marketing and sales, and you're also working with these aligned clients, and why that's very, very important. One of the biggest problems that I see with like coaches is they get too overwhelmed and stressed out with the business. Like, they just can't handle the pressure. They start resenting the business overall. They're not excited to show up for their clients anymore. They're not excited to pour into the clients anymore. Client engagement is low. What people think they need to do is like, oh, I just need to get more clients. I just need to get more clients. But there's been times where I didn't have a lot of clients, but the energy, the alignment, the impact felt like I had 1,000. And that's because I was working with aligned clients. But to keep it a buck with you, there have also been times where I had a ton of clients. I'm talking to you guys about from my experience, because the things that I'm teaching y'all are things that I've done, things that I have success with, mistakes that I've made, and also the things that I coach my clients around. I don't know about you, but I love what I do. I was just talking to, one of my clients on Circle, like, actually love my clients. I got love for them. That doesn't happen on accident. No, I'm very, very much intentional about what I put out there in the marketplace, about how I set up my sales system, and about how we onboard and coach our clients. And alignment is very important to me. If you want more freedom in your business, this is the thing that you want to do. So like, if you're a coach already and you're already coaching clients online, or if you're someone that is looking to transition into coaching clients online away from like your corporate job or in-person training, I know it's like, man, if I got my laptop and my cell phone, like, I'm good, I got freedom. But you want to have freedom up here too. Anxiety is real. Anxiety is like a trauma just trapped in your body. If you always have anxiety around your business because you dread talking to clients, you dread holding them accountable, you dread coaching them in a group container, you dread coaching them one-on-one, you ain't free. You a slave up here. So in order to prevent that, guys, working with attracting aligned clients and working with aligned clients is going to solve that problem. 3 things. I'm going to break this down, right? Keep in mind, guys, this is something when we talk about attracting, we're talking about like what you put out there in the marketplace, meaning that when you put out an Instagram ad, you need to be very intentional about what's being said in the ad. You need to be very intentional about what is, you write in the ad copy. If you put out a piece of content, a reel, a carousel, or if you go live like how I'm doing right now, you need to be very intentional about what you say in that video, in that photo, in that copy, that caption, because whatever you put out there in the marketplace, you're going to what? Attract. Okay? So you have full control over if you attract aligned clients or if you don't. Same thing in the sales process. Like when we talk about the sales process, these are now prospects that are ready to make a decision. It's our job to lead them and to help them make the best decision for their health, wellness, fitness, or whatever transformation that you're offering. So in that sales process, it has to happen too. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. A lot of people think I just need to say this in my content, then boom, that's it. Nope. Marketing and sales, two different departments. So we want to make sure that we're doing the same thing in our sales process. And then it don't stop there. Once we onboard the client, and now that we're coaching the clients, we need to do the same thing. But if we do the first two things the correct way, the coaching part is going to be a lot easier. It's coaching part, because when we say alignment, it's a straight line. From your marketing to your sales to the coaching container. It's a straight line. It can't be like a crooked line for marketing, crooked line in sales, and it's a straight line in the coaching. Like everything needs to be in alignment. Everything needs to be congruent, guys. So let's talk about the first one, right? These are the three things that needs to be in alignment in order to start attracting and working with your dream clients, aligned clients, all right? So first, they need to be in alignment with you as a coach. So how you show up publicly on social media is very, very, very important, guys. You should be in your content, guys. This is why I say like talking in the content, sharing your perspective is in the content is very, very important, because this allows prospects to understand what your value system is. What do you stand by as a coach? What do you stand by as a leader? As leaders, of course, on social media, we have to do certain things that's trendy, right? Like I get it. But outside of, that's just one piece of marketing, one piece of content that you do. Outside of the trendy things, what are you doing as a leader? Because this type of marketing, this type of content are the things that like your prospect are going to be looking for when it comes to deciding if they want to work with you or not. So are you displaying your value system in your content? If you always talk about mindset, do you showcase like some of the things that you do about mindset? Do you talk about how the importance mindset it has been inside of your life, has been inside of like your client's life? If you're a man or a woman of faith, do you talk about your faith inside of your content? Are you showing up just being 1000% you? Because the thing about social media is a lot of times we'll consume so many things and now we think we have to show up like somebody else. Or we think that, oh, I seen this reel or I seen this video and I got to show up like that. All you got to do is just get on social media and just be you. That's easy. Authenticity is not hard. It shouldn't be a hard task to do. You may have to get outside of your mind and don't overthink. Maybe that might be the hard thing. But I promise you, showing up on social media as 100% you, real, being able to share your perspective and not being afraid if somebody doesn't agree or not. Because guess what? If somebody doesn't agree, what does that mean? They just not in alignment with your values. Because the last thing we want is for us to start coaching the client. And then that's when we have to find out that we're not aligned, is when we start coaching the client. That should be the last place where we find out that we're not in alignment as far as values. That needs to happen in the beginning. So they need to be in alignment with you as a coach. And also one thing I'm really big on too is whatever your value system is, you should be prioritizing development in those areas. So if mindset is a really big part of your value system, if faith is a really big part of your value system, if health and self-care is a really big part of your value system, then you should be prioritizing that personal development in those areas as well. Because how we show up on social media, we have to do what? Lead by example. And those are things that people can see, people can feel it. So people always want to be able to, like, whatever it is that you're teaching, that we're teaching, we gotta lead by example. So these aligned clients, I promise you guys, and when I talk about aligned clients, I'm talking about these clients are the ones that want to pay you the most money. The most money that any consumer wants to pay you out there in the world. But they want to know what your perspective is around the things that you talk about, the things that you coach clients around, the things that you teach. They want to know what your perspective is around that. Not just portion size of food. They want to understand like what your expertise is, but your leadership and your perspective are the things that your dream client that wants to pay you $1,000 or $3,000 or more, those are the things that they want to hear, because those are going to be the things that help them make a decision to working with you or not. So alignment in you as a coach is very, very, very important. So that's the first one. And I also want to talk about like why this is important. Any of y'all ever like just dread, like after you talk to a client, you just felt fucking drained, you know, after a one-on-one call, or maybe you was on a group call and then like one client like just took up a lot of the time on the call, just asking questions, showcasing frustration, always had excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. Anybody ever experienced that? Like give me a me in the chat, in the comments, if you ever experienced that, because I know I have. And the reason why this is important is because if that continues to happen, you know what that affects? That affects your performance as a coach inside of the coaching container. So imagine if you got 20 clients, 12 of them are unaligned, but you got 8 that are aligned. So anytime you come in, because they pay for the service, so you still got to be able to coach them. You still got to hold them accountable and do what you said you was going to do per the contract. But every time you do it, it's sucking the energy out of you. So now when it's time to communicate with the 8 clients, your cup ain't full. You ain't got nothing positive to give to the other 8 clients that's doing well and that are aligned. So this is why this is very, very important, because when you don't show up for those 8 clients, when it's time for them to renew, you think they're going to renew? No. So now that's messing with your monthly recurring revenue. So what I'm saying to you guys is to prevent from having a 20 client roster and 12 of them are on the line and 8 of them are, how about we just solve this problem ASAP? We just fix this problem now. So that's what I also say beyond $100,000 in the year, is because that monthly recurring revenue is going to be the thing that keeps your business going. It's going to be the thing that like is money hitting the account every single month. You can count on it. You always know that you're going to get clients good results. You know that they're going to send you referrals. You're going to make more money with the clients than you are with the new revenue. The monthly recurring revenue is going to always increase the spend per customer when you start working with them. Because if you've got an offer that's $1,500, your program is 2 to 3 months. After those 2 to 3 months, you roll the client over into another phase, and then another phase after that, and another phase after that, and another phase after that. So you end up keeping that client for an additional 12 months. And throughout those 12 months, they paid you anywhere between $3,000 and $4,000. You made more money coaching them than you did selling them. So that's why I say beyond 100,000 is very important. So let's move to the next one. So alignment in your method. Your method, especially when we talk about cold traffic, if you're doing something like running ads and you are talking to a lot of cold traffic, a lot of strangers. What I mean by cold traffic, these are people that's coming to your page, and then in the next few days or next week or so, they're getting on your calendar and they haven't been following you for that long. These are strangers on the internet, okay? But they're interested in what you do and what you offer, because maybe they saw an ad or they saw a piece of content, whatever the case may be. But alignment in your method, all right? So your clients should believe in your coaching philosophy and your process. They need to believe in that, not just you as a coach, but in your process, in your method. For example, I see she had joined my TikTok. I got TikTok open too. So part of her method is faith, fitness, and nutrition. And these are ladies that they don't have to leave home and they don't have to follow any strict diets. And one thing that we hear a lot in all the calls, all the conversations, is the unique part of her method. They say, I love the fact that she is aligning my faith with my fitness and my wellness journey, because I don't see anybody doing that. So that is the unique part of her method. And also that part of her method is in alignment with what? Caprice's values and the client's value. So like if we can establish this method is different than anything that person has tried before in the past, than anything that they're currently doing right now, and this sounds like it's the best fit for who they are as a person as far as their values, now we got an offer that we can convert to cold traffic easily. Versus if you're not even sure of what your method is, you're not even sure of what your approach is, you're not even sure of how you want to align and position your method in the marketplace, now it's really easy for them to compare your method to a personal trainer or to their cousin that will train them for free up the street. Any of y'all ever got objections like that? Oh, I could just go to my cousin that do it. Or I could just go to this gym and this trainer here, he'll charge me, $200 to train. Or I just go to this boot camp. Anybody ever got objections like that? And it's because of how you didn't position your method. So when the prospects are in alignment with your method, and what I mean by in alignment, they're like, this is aligned with what I want to do, with what I can commit to, and my values. So it's aligned with what they want to do. Because one thing that we always ask when we're doing Caprice's offer is, one thing we ask in a DM, a pre-qualifying question is, have you ever included your faith in your weight loss journey? So these are questions that we ask them. This is how we start to set the expectation as well. So we say this in the ad, we say this in the VSL, we also say it to them privately inside of the DM when we're asking questions with them. And we also say it, guess where? In the sales process, when they actually become a lead and they're about to get on a call with one of our team members. So it's a constant reminder. This prayers up, weight down method is this. So by the time it's time to make an offer to them, as long as they're qualified and they're aligned, they already know, okay, they're in alignment with who we are as coaches. They have alignment with the method. And then we'll talk about the next one, which is, man, very, 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 very important as well. This is why this is important too. It's a lot easier for cold prospects to make a decision to pay you $1,000 or $3,000 or more to work with you when they know your approach is unique compared to what they tried in the past or what they're trying currently. It's a lot easier like that. And I like to position offers that can convert with cold traffic easy, because I always know that, hey, there's always going to be new people that we can get in front of that have the problem that we solve, and they're probably in alignment with our values. New people, not just people that's been following you for 2 years, new people. There's always new opportunities for that. Now, the third one, they have to be in alignment with themselves. So here's the thing, when I say in alignment with themselves, they got to be ready to believe in themselves and invest in their church transformation. I want to break this down too. They have to be ready to believe in themselves. They probably don't believe in themselves now, and that's okay. But how you speak to them, especially in the sales process, this is one thing I like to go ham on in the sales process. By the time they get to the call, when you're going to make an offer to them, they need to have belief in themselves. They need to believe that, you know what, I can actually do this. They need to believe that, you know what, I can actually follow Coach so-and-so. I believe that I can follow them and be led by them because they're a person of integrity and, you know, our values are aligned. I believe that I can follow this prayers up, weight down method. It's so in alignment with what I want to do, and I can actually commit to this, right? But they also need to start saying to themselves, you know what? I want to be ready to be self-accountable. I want to be ready to start believing in myself, to start taking the steps towards actually believing in myself. They must see themselves as someone who deserves change, guys. Because if you don't address these things before it's time to like make an offer to them, this is where you feel like you're convincing people of your value. And it's one, because they don't really see themselves as valuable yet. You become a powerful coach when you can show somebody that they are more valuable than they thought they were in your sales process and in your marketing. This is how you become a phenomenal coach. Anybody can get somebody in a coaching container and give them this, give them that. Like, anybody can do that. But when you can start getting people to believe in themselves before they even pay you money, that's powerful. But I also understand how important it is, because anytime you get objections on a sales call or even in a DM, most of the time it's because the person doesn't have enough belief in themselves. And that's okay. This is why they came to you. But we need to be able to start talking to these prospects in a way where it's easy, where you can start getting them to say, you know what? Yeah, I believe I can do this. And a lot of y'all got it in you. It's in you. You be focused on the wrong things. You be focused on trying to post content that can allow you to go viral. You be trying to post 3 to 5 reels a day and all of the things that just make you look like you got it going on social media. And that's cool. You can post that. But what we also want to do is make sure that we got that coaching container is fucking popping, that all of our clients are winning, that all of our clients are not just like getting the result that they want, but they're also impacting people that's close to them. Like I was talking to Caprice, we have a client that's been working with us inside of her Prayers Up, Weight Down program, and it's been 2 weeks. She's dropped some weight, her blood pressure has went down, but before in the coaching container, she wasn't waking up and drinking water. Like that wasn't the first thing she was doing. Now she's doing it. But what started happening was her daughter is now bringing her the glass of water every morning. So she's not just only like impacting like her personal life, but this is also influencing her daughter in a positive way. And she's very much aligned to make sure that the prospects they have alignment with you as a coach, alignment in your method, and alignment with themselves, guys. When you implement this, guys, this increases your revenue and your retention. This increases like the new revenue coming into the business, because now you can get people to actually commit and not just want to give you small deposits. So when we talk about new revenue, when they hit all 3 of these, they're aligned with you as a coach, aligned with your method, and aligned with themselves. Now when it's time to commit to that $1,500 or $2,000 offer, however much it is, now they can actually do a real commitment versus just being 1 foot out, 1 foot in. Like, okay, like, can I just put $50 down? And then after they put the $50 down, $100 down, then they ghost you. They wasn't aligned. That's what that is. But when we can hit those 3 key points, they all in. Let's get it. Let's do it. Payments going through. They showing up inside of the coaching container. They doing what they need to do. They're responding. They're jumping on the calls. Because we don't want people jumping in the coaching container just paying us and not doing shit. Nobody here wants that. I'm pretty sure anybody that's on my page, none of y'all want that. We like money. I like money. I love it. But I also love coaching my clients. I love when my clients are showing the fuck up. So we all want that. But if you want that for majority of, and I'm not saying hey man, I ain't saying some people ain't gonna slip through the cracks, like for sure, right? But you should be able to, for a higher percentage of your clients should definitely be aligned if you're implementing this correct. So the new revenue, you get more commitment up front financially from the prospects when you're closing them, and also from a retention standpoint, because they showed up and did the work, they got a good experience, they got good results, and now you can roll them over into something more so long term. And now that's helping out with your new revenue, and that's helping out with your monthly recurring revenue. And now you actually got a business that's sustainable, and you got freedom. You can go to sleep knowing that your clients is good because you and your team held them accountable, but they also are holding themselves accountable. They're also open to practicing self-accountability for themselves, not just relying on you when they don't get the result or blaming you when something don't go their way. Because when you got so many clients and that's happening, now you got anxiety, your laptop is staying open a little longer, you got more, screen time on your phone because you anxious, you want to make sure clients is cool, and payments not going to decline, and people ain't going to ghost you. Like, this allows you sustainability and freedom inside of your online coaching business. I know everybody want easier sales. I know everybody want the clients to get better results, and I know everybody want higher retention and referrals. This does that. So remember when I was telling y'all about the sales process. So here's the thing about the sales process. Nobody is seeing. When you put a piece of content out there in the marketplace, people see the content. People can see what you're saying publicly. In the sales process, nobody can see that but the prospect. But it is the most important part of what's happening because it's that stage before we make an offer and onboard a new client. I feel like for a lot of y'all, the content thing is like easy. It's fun for y'all. People like being creative, but people just hate the fucking sale. People hate the sale. So I literally have created a system that makes sales easier for you and also make sure that you can attract and work with aligned clients. My self-selling sales system does exactly that. And when you have this self-selling sales system, along with Instagram DM ads, you really got to post 1 to 3 times a week, to make sure that it's the high converting aligned content that's going to attract the aligned clients that you want. Just 1 to 3 times a week. That's it, to be profitable and to get to 100K and beyond. You definitely don't got to do 3 times a day. That's a myth. You do not have to do that. I think I've never done that actually. And I've been monetizing social media since 2008. So if you want access to that, a breakdown of that self-selling sales system, message me the word system and let's talk about it.